So now you're good to go, and I guess I'll start.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, I'll start off by I guess I was doing that update wallet thing, and most
Yes,
of
so we were doing the
yeah, the
table
table and
updates.
the
Right? Yeah.
updates, right?
Given today is the last session,
Hmm.
I was looking at the areas which are remaining. Like, what is the target for today? Are you going to cover everything from caching and email hooks and everything?
Yeah, yeah, that is
Okay.
what we are left.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Let's start.
Hmm. Did we finish this off? Like, was it? No, it didn't.
Yes, I think more or
Restarting.
less. You said yes. You said
Huh.
we were updating. We did a delete and update, restoring.
Yeah,
Restoring,
delete
you said
was. Yeah,
12 was
delete
good.
was like okay, like it was on switch function, so it was like you can restore and delete it. But what about the update? Did we finish the topic? You just check.
You did. You changed the spelling of farm. I remember
Ah,
fresh.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
right, right, right.
The
So
only
did
thing
we?
the only thing you left was restore. You said maybe we have to do something else to do restore. We did not do restore properly.
Okay,
Just I think if I remember correctly. If I
so
don't know if that's important for this,
not
but
much.
yeah.
Just
So then maybe
oh, sounds like that's 80. Oh, okay, so happening. Um, okay, so that was I guess this was not good. Yeah, so the messages and all. I just have to change it and it's done. But, And this could work for the release to today is not even gap. Oh, now restore, we want to restore this category. Okay. Now so there are lots of options. Sure. That's good. Next thing will be shifting our focus towards backend jobs and gas. For that, again, the thing that we are doing is creating a directory day 5 that I will do, copy everything as in the backend directory. Is here and from the front end directory, which is copy ahead everything, leaving out node modules because it's close down the terminals. And what I will do in this new term, like new locations in the terminal, just Python and this npm install and it's so okay, let's see. So what do we need for the salary and package jobs? Backend in here, what do we need? Firstly, we like there are two major parts. One is the scheduled jobs or the backend jobs. Other one is caching, right? Start off with caching. For caching, what libraries or what tools that we will be needing is first we will be needing Redis. Redis as
Redis.
a Redis
Yeah.
server. Then we'll be needing Redis, the library, talk to that server. And finally, the uh, what like Python library that would help me cache the data. Flash cache. Next thing for backend jobs, it's been divided up into three parts. Right? Daily reminder. Now for daily reminder, what do we need?
Mm, some salary, right? Salary?
Yeah, salary will be needed. Correct. For daily reminder, we'll be needing first we'll be needing salary, then we'll be needing Redis server, Redis again like the library, and there is something more. That is for daily reminder, we have the option to go with mail. If you are going with mail, you can go like we will be needing a library that would help me compose the mail. Like I can go with Flask mail or SMTP lib, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
the server that we're talking about. Either we can go for a live SMTP server, SMTP server, or a development SMTP server. Next thing is okay. So there's mail, right? If we are going with webhooks, In that case, we won't be needing a huge installation that we need, but we just can proceed with Axios and stuff, right? It's basically sending a request to a specific ID, that kind of thing. So for that, what you can do, you can like create a Google chat, right? And from there you can get the webhook link, and by sending a request or with the data, you can like send it. It won't be much, but again, the word in the pictures. And for SMS, I do not specifically remember the list, but it's for you if you want to go for.
No, I think
Next
email
thing,
is good. Yeah.
yeah. Next thing is monthly reminder. For monthly reminder, we will be specifically needing this. Okay. There's no choice that you can go for. And lastly is it's the user trigger. For this too, we'll be needing the specific list. Now, this email wala stuff is bit gone. Now, for user triggered async job, what we have to do, we have to create a file. We have to generate a CSV file, right, and send it to the user. It depends how we are sending the file. Either we can attach the file with an email and send it as an email attachment, or else we can give out a pop-up that how we are getting it, like how we get if we click on somewhere, if we click on that submit, how we get that on not submit but delete, how we get that key. Um, this is weird. How we get that pop-up? Yeah, your download has been started and stuff.
Is yeah. Can we use the warning or alert system that we have been using?
Hmm?
The alert system says, an update pops up, like the warning box,
Warning box for
alerting that the CSV is download has started and the CSV download
yeah,
is
of course,
complete.
of course, of course, of
Yeah,
course. You can do that. Yeah, the person who has got crashed. It may also. Okay, for the time being, I think if you want to install Redis server, search for Redis server, and you can either get the commands or get the exe file to download Redis server. Right? After you're done downloading Redis server, you can go for Redis Insight. That's an GUI interface for communicating or talking to Redis server. You can install that too. Okay, there is one more thing. That is, for example, if you are on, if you are installing, like what I am doing is like I have Redis server installed in my WS, right? But I have Redis Insight installed within Windows. How can it communicate? That is because Redis server will be giving out a server address, okay? And with that I can communicate with it. So it is possible. You can keep Redis server, be it in the Windows side, be it in the uh, what uh, Linux side, but it can communicate. I'll just stop my screen sharing for some time. So now it's fixed. And what was I saying? It's like the shows should have this is not working. These are the things that we'll be needing. And after I'm done creating the node modules and checking if it is like setting up fine, then we'll proceed for yeah. So that's like if you want- okay. Hmm. How can you start off with front? Now the thing is that I already have uh Redis server installed into my system. So I don't have an option to go and download it. But I will just showcase it. How can we? The command would be command to install Redis server. Again, the commands are in respect to Linux, right? Sudo pt. Anyway, I also saw sudo pt install. Sudo pt install that is server. If you run this command again, then it will just update. It's already in the first way. Now, to start this server, The command would be redis server. It's an alias. Else you can go for sudo service redis server start. Now here's the thing. If let's see, if I write redis server, and you can see that what it is saying that there is no configuration file and this stuff. But check the last line. It is saying that like 6379 bind already, like address already in use. Okay. So what is happening? My Redis server is already running in the background. I can check that out. How can I check that out? If you just go for sudo service and status all. Okay, so sudo service status all. In this place, you can find Redis server, and this plus represents run. Okay. So how can I kill that? Okay. There is one more thing. For the other servers, if you close down the terminal, it would get killed, right? But it's not the same for Redis. Yeah, so it will keep itself running in the background. Now, how to kill that or how to stop that? It's like if you have the terminal active, in that case, Control C would work. But if you don't have it right now, like how I don't have it, in that case, we will be using the same command with stop. Now let's see. We have closed this. Let me open up another terminal and let's do Redis server. Now you can see this is how it would look whenever it starts. That's okay. And so that is Redis server. Next thing for caching, what would I need? I just like I'm starting with caching. Okay? So I need Flash caching. And to just install it, you know that it's pip install Flash caching. And so open up back and service back, right? What I will do, I already have Redis server running. Just for today, in backend, I will create one more directory so that it keeps clean and name it as utils. Okay. Within the utils directory, I create one more file, name it as test. Uh, test.py or something, right? Something that I can point the class castle, and from class castle library, I would import. I will initialize it to a variable, naming it as gas equals to. Okay. Next thing, I would go to app.py and I will initialize it. So from utils cache, I will import cache, and over here, I just initialize. Now it's the initialization is almost done, but I need to configure it so that it considers or it keeps the cache data as a like it uses Redis server to save the cache data. Now the thing is that I need to check the configurations. For that, I'll just open up the documentation. Mm, this one. So if you scroll down, you'll get a table, right? And we'll be using this table. First thing is I'll I need to set the cache type. Cache type will be Redis cache. That is this one. Yes, that's next. It needs to, like, whenever I am using Redis gas, I need to save the data in the Redis server. Right? Now for that, I can like break it up into the spaces and break down like local host is like Redis host is it's running in the local server, so it's local host. Then it's the port ID that is 6379. Then if you want, you can like go for DB address, like what which DB like in which Redis DB you want to save it. If you have Redis, like if you have that password to your Redis server, in that case you can give out the Redis server address, or else you can like just go for that URL. That is also fine. So you can see it's using the Redis protocol to communicate with the address localhost 6379. Okay. And the last zero says that we'll be using DB0 to save the data. Now, what is that? If you open up Redis Insight, it's opening up. But for the time being, let me add some more configurations. That is default timeout. And this is in seconds. So what is default timeout? Like you can cache the data, or you can cache a copy of the data. Now it cannot be like it stays for time infinity, but you have to like kill it. Now whenever you open up Redis Insight, you can click on Add Redis Database and go for either go for Add Database or you can go for connection settings. Over here, I can give the name to May 25 in 3, and everything stays same like username, password, and all. But if you want, you can give security. I'm not going for right now, but add Redis database. Now this is the one, and as of now, it's empty. Now how it is empty is like if you see over here, it says DB0. That is the one that we are using, DB0. In this site, like wherever you are seeing let's start working, you'll be seeing the entries in this DB0 database. And for each entry, whenever you click on that entry, on this right side, you will be seeing what data that we have in it. Right? Now you can change it to 1, 0 and multiple databases, and you can check out which database is having what. And you can store data into separate databases. Sorry. And I can give out the key prefix with my YAML. So now this two are majorly needed. You can keep this default timeout, and the prefix is totally up to you. If you want, you can keep it or else it's fine. Now that in place, I have like I am almost done. Yes. How can I say it? Is because if you see, if I refresh this page, no categories found. That is weird because my server is not working. I should have added that validation check. No module name Flask Cache. That is not true. So I didn't do it. So pip install Flask Cache. And even there is one more thing, that is pip install Redis, the library. Now that in place, you just go ahead and start with the backup server and see that it is working fine. Now you just go ahead and try to refresh the page. The data is there. See, but as of now, nothing is being cast. Now let's see which endpoint is responsible for this data supply. That might be someplace over here. So here there is register, there is login, home, about, query data, save data, update data, and delete data. Those were the 8 endpoints and rest and ones. Those are coming from the starting days, right? But the endpoint that is responsible for this data is within this category that we made, right? Over here. That is this get endpoint. Now, how can I cast this get endpoint? Now, where would you want to cast? Is from utils, I will import cast. And where do you want to where do you want to cast it? Where like I majorly prefer and keep just to keep it simple, I prefer to keep like cast it in the get API. Okay. That is how I like to like, whenever we are starting off whenever it's our first time that we are casting, it's best go ahead with this kind of endpoints. And even go for the endpoints that doesn't have the attributes. Okay. Else you have to save it in a different way. And even that will be handled, but still, just for the sake, yes, you have made it in a correct format, and the saving is also like saved in a different entries. Like, what am I talking about? If consider that if I need to supply some ID and something to get the data. Okay, in that case, if you want to save it as a cached data, then in that case, you really need to like differentiate between two copies of cached data. So, anyways, I'm keeping it in a general get endpoint where I'm just querying out the total category table. So how can I cache it? It's very simple. It's like using a decorator again. So after rows accepted and all, just start off with cast, then cast. Okay. With this, your data will be cached. Now the thing is that I can give out a specific timeout only, like for 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Right? So it will be saved for 30 seconds. Let's see. If you see, as of now, I don't have any data. Now the thing is that when will it be cached? That is, whenever I make a request for the first time, right? It will be cached for next 30 seconds. So within that next 30 seconds, within that 29 seconds, whenever n number of requests comes, it won't go and get the data from the database. Rather, what it will do, it will just get the data from this cached memory. Okay. Let's see. If I refresh it, you can see I got the data. Most probably I have not got it. I haven't got the data. That is because it stopped. The backend server is stopped. Now just go ahead and refresh the page. I can see it in here. Let's see. Yes, it was here. So get all categories. If you open that up, you'll be seeing this data over. Now here's the thing. If I refresh it, it's coming up right now. The thing is that if I click restore, so the delete thing would become false, right? Restore, okay, and this it was successful and all. But what do you see? You see true over there. But if I go to the database and check that out, check the category table, and over here, this is false, zero. But still it says true. Now if I refresh it, it says false. Same thing is happening over here too. Like it would happen the same for edit too. If you see, vegetable is from the fields, right? From the fields. Update category, category updated successfully, and you are seeing from the fields. But in the database, what it says from the fields. Now it would work after 1 second and right now. This is how we can go for this. Now we can do one thing. So you can do one thing. Whenever you are doing a major update from the admin side, you can like delete the cache data. That is also possible. But that's a choice that you want to make if you want to do it in that way. Okay. But there is a possibility. I close down this medicine site and we'll close everything down. And furthermore, how will you proceed is that the salary installations or the things that we'll be needing for our backend jobs. As I said, that I will be using an SMTP server. Like we'll be choosing the mail option, and even from the mail option, I'll be choosing the uh, SMTP server, like development SMTP server. Now for that, we start off in this way. That is salary. For salary installations, we are good to go with this install salary. Next thing, I already have Redis server and the Redis library. So the thing is that the major installations, let me remove the libraries. We don't need the libraries. But Redis server installation we need an SMTP server. I'm going for development SMTP server, and that development SMTP server would be running within the system. Now to install it, the commands would be going ahead with mail hop. So you can refer to this. You can refer to this documentation. Else the commands are this. I also have this installed, so just wait for the levels. I can just give it a try if there is any update. There's no update. And with this, you will be having the SMTP server over here. And this is mail. How to start it is like the command is structure tilde go pin slash mail hop. This tilde represents that you are in a home directory, right? See the tilde. Now over here, I will just open up another terminal, and in this terminal, what would I do is tilde go pin mail hop, and you can see that this SMTP server is running within my system, and you will be getting two addresses. That is one localhost 1025, another one is localhost 8025. So MailHub provides you with two addresses. That is because you will be sending the mails to our address that is 1025, and it also provides you with an GUI interface, like graphical interface that you can use to check the mails. So localhost 8025, and from here you can check the mails. So the libraries that I've been needing is Flask, Mail, and I have everything. Which also sell the. And with this, I say the libraries are done, and I just for the last time I will just update the requirements list. So the freeze the requirements list. And let's see how can we do it. Let's start off by uh, creating a route, or at least firstly we start off by initializing the mail. Flask mail library. Okay. Now for that, within utils, I will open up. I will create another file and name it as mailer.py. In here, it's the same thing. Flask mail, import mail, and the variable. I'll just initialize it, and I just go to app. That's been initialized. I need to configure it too. So it's open that up. Flask mail library. This one. So these are the configurations that talking about. So it starts off with the mail server. Mail server is again it's within my system, so it's local host. Port ID is 1025 that I said, and anything more is like mail debug and stuff. We are not adding anything, but we'll be adding defaults and something, anything that you want to. It doesn't need to be a genuine address. That is why we are using the development server, right? So if this in place, I can proceed further. That is, can check that out. If I restart my app, it is working fine. Now, what if I want to have a check? Okay, I just go to test.py and in here, or let me in mailer, let me create a simple test. So I need message. Message. Why we need message? To create a or to compose a mail. Okay. Now send test email. In here, I need to supply two subject and body. Okay. Next thing, I need to define it in this way. That is with message. That you can see within this, you can write some things. Starting off with subject, recipient, then it's like so many things: body, HTML, CC, BCC, attachment, reply to, and whatnot. We can do it in this way from here too. That is subject equals to subject. Right. Else, what we can do in this format, that is message dot body equals to body, then recipients dot to. Now I will be again. If you are sending the mail to a single recipient too, still it should be in a list. So that's the thing. Finally, whenever we are done, we will be like returning this. Yes, message was sent successfully. And again, we'll be using this mail.send and we'll be sending this or we'll be using this message. Now let's see. I just go to this test.py and in here we were like trying that out, right? So from utils mail, I send test mail and starts our send test mail. First thing is to subject and body. Okay. So two is a list. That list says my name. And I can add multiple things to Then there could be the subject and the body. Restart it. And how is this working? This method would work as in it, right? So API is lost. So as of now, you can see there's no mail. But whenever I trigger that endpoint, that is localhost 5000 slash API slash, you can see that it says hello world and you can see the mails are out. Now the mail was out in this format, but I need to change it. That is because if I wanted it to send multiple emails, in that case, it should have been configured in a different way. I didn't do it. Rather, for recipient in two, this one. So restart it and give it a try again. Then you can see that it will be a bit different. Um, okay, we added the return statements. That's bad. You have to keep it upside. Let's think of it differently. Hmm, it don't work. Okay. Now, thing is that if you want different mails for different user, for example, you are sending a mail. In that case, how can you send it? Like you can attach all the users to a single mail, like the two address. You can have multiple email IDs, right? And if you send the mail, then everyone will be getting that. But in two, everyone will be seeing that you have all the email IDs in a single mail, right? That is possible. That is okay. That can be do. That is doable. But if you want to send different mails to different uh, users, in that case, you have to use for. Now, here's the thing. I am also trying that, but if I want to return it, in that case, it's a bit buggy. So one thing that can be done is like I remove the try block and keep the mail send wala method within that and restart it. In that case, it will be done, but I won't be get I cannot verify if all the mails were out. I can see that there are two mails. Now here's the thing that you can have an HTML body too, for example. So this is a test. Body. See, this two were the older emails and it had only plain text. But if you check out the newer ones, it is having an HTML. So this is a testimonial body and stuff. You also can use an template too. Template as in like you can go ahead with the single lines, single statements, or else you can like write down a full-fledged HTML part over here. Or else you can do one more thing, that is you can like you can create an HTML file. Okay, considering it to be a template, use Jinja for that and attach it over here. That is also possible. You just need to write that right, from the HTML from the file. I'm not doing that extensively, but I'll just go ahead and start off with salary. Right? In within the utils directory, like mailing is done. I will be covering, like I will be attaching the mail wala part whenever I'm doing salary again. But as of now, it's done. Like I have initialized and I have checked that yes, it is working somehow, somewhat it is working. Next thing is within utils, I would create one more file, name it as salary worker. Okay, that file. Now, if you remember from day 2 or day 3, I don't remember, but whenever that I created this create app method, now I will be using it. Okay. So in the salary worker, first thing I will be needing from the salary library, I will be needing the method. Then from app, I will be importing create app, and from I need to like I need to define configurations, but I will be defining it in a different class. Okay, it can be salary. So just go to config.py. In here, I define one more class, that is salary config. And from there, I just need to, or I will be defining three configurations. That is broker URL, keeping it one, Lesel backend, keeping it two, and time zone is Asia, Kolkata. Now again, for Redis, for salary 2, we will be using Redis as a data store. Okay. Now I just go back to salary work. Over here, I can import salary config now. Next thing, I create an app instance. Is create app, right? And I will define one more method, that is make salary. In here, I will just initialize it in this way. Key salary wala variable is calling, like I'm calling this salary method within that variable. And in here, I need to supply this app dot import name. Now it can be init underscore app. So it looks different, right? Visually, so that we can check the difference visually. That's next thing. I need to supply the configuration, that is configuration from object, and it's coming from this class. And finally, I'm returning this salary. On line 12, I will be creating one more variable. Again, I want it to be different. That is salary app, and I'm calling this make salary and supplying this app instance that I created on line 5 by calling the create app method that I'm getting from my app file. With this in place, I can start, at least I can start my salary worker. Okay. Now, how can I do it? You can see the backend should be working fine. I would open up one more terminal, and this terminal should be located in the backend directory. Okay. Next thing, you would start off with salary minus capital A. Then, where do I have everything? I have it in utils. Like, where do I have this code? That is within the utils directory. I would be getting a salary worker file, salary underscore worker dot. Where do I have it? Within this variable, that is salary underscore app. Okay. So celery underscore app. Okay. Next thing I would write, what do I want to start from celery? Celery have multiple things. Okay. So I want to start celery worker. So just write worker over here. Then I would write log level goes to info to check if everything is working fine or not. And I would start this. You can see it got started. And how can I verify that it got started correctly? For example, if I would close this down and uh, I'm not sure if it would start, but okay, anyways. So what am I saying? For example, just to verify that it started the correct salary instance or not, you can see the broker URL. If you remember from the configuration, we wrote it to use the DB1 from Redis, right? Again, you can check, verify it from it, and the result was using DB2. So as of now, we can verify that salary got initialized how we wanted it to be and how we have configured it to be. Okay. Next thing, what's the difference and how it is different from anything else? We'll be checking that out in a bit. Within utils, I will define one more file, that is celery underscore tasks.py. Okay. In here, what I will write from utils dot celery worker, I would import celery. After that, so how different is it from an like how it, like is it like how can we define a task? It's nothing much, but it's like you define a Python method. For example, print hello. Okay. And it prints hello, and there is a return statement that says salary or task executed successful and something. Now this is a Python method, right? If I call it, it would be like printing the statement in the terminal. And the next thing is after the like in the return statement, it will be completed with this return statement that is supplying a string. Right? How to make it as celery task? That is over here in this line, I will be adding this decorator. That is the celery app dot tasks. I can give out the name over here, but it's okay. Now still there is one more thing that I have to say. That is within this terminal, you can see it over here. That what are the tasks? As of now, we didn't had any tasks. Okay, whenever we started work. After that, I have defined an task. Now here's the thing: you have to be aware that salary worker won't be registering a task until and unless you restart it manually. Even right now, it won't work because I haven't connected it. Still, there is some more connection needed. That is, if you go back to salary worker, after I have done defining line 12, or after I'm done calling uh, that make salary method, what I have to do is from utils, I'll be importing the file. It is salary tasks. Right? Still, it isn't updated. Now, what I have to do, I have to manually restart the work. Then only it will be registered. You can see it over here. Now it has been registered. That is, there is a task that goes with the name print hello. Okay. If I remove the name, it will like you will see that I restarted. So again, whenever you are changing a like whenever you are updating a task, you have to restart it. Okay. You can see now. You can see that it is working in this format. That is defined it in this form. Now here's the thing. I have defined the task. How can I trigger it? So if we go back to this documentation, so there are three styles, right? Daily reminder, monthly reminder, and user trigger task. So here's the thing. Daily reminder and monthly reminder are same. Those will be auto scheduled or auto triggered. We'll be coming to that in the last part. But as of now, we'll be using user trigger. That is, we'll be using an API call to trigger that task, trigger a salary task. How can you do it? Within routes, I will define one, like I will create one more file that is salary routes. Not even. What do I need? I need this. This tool is enough. Next thing from utils dot salary task, I'd be importing hello salary print hello. Okay. Now, if I want to trigger, how can I do it? For example, if I want to, I got the method right. This method is the name for that Python method. I got that. I called that into this variable. That is var1, and we are calling this right. Now here's the thing. Let's see how it would work. Here's the worker terminal, and here's the backend. Right? I need to go to app, and I have to initialize the endpoint. Now that in place, there's something more. Um, salary routes. Restart it, and it is done. Now what I will do, I'll just go ahead to API and salary. You can see that it is giving me message. Message was static, and this result came from that Python method, right? Salary task executed successfully. But you will see that in this backend wala terminal, it printed out hello from salary task. And why is that so? That is because if we call it in this way, it is considered it to be a normal Python function call or method call. Okay. Now, how to call it as a, like if you see it in the salary worker doesn't do anything. There was nothing, right? But if I want to call it as a salary task, in that case, either I have to add delay or there are some other methods, like some other ways that you can use, and it will be like uh, it'll be like you can call it, you can call the sending task, right? Now here's the thing. Previously, within connecting to the result key, what was we doing? We were like adding. I was adding whatever the return statement was. Now, as I'm calling it as a Python, sorry, salary task. In that case, it is a bit different. So it is like var1 dot result. Okay. Now, for each task call, salary would be allocating an unique ID. Okay, so I can get that ID equals to var1 dot ID. Okay. Now let's see. Let's give it a try. You will see that whenever I refresh it, considering the backend is working, now I refresh it again, and now you can see that there was an ID. The message that was static was there, but the result is null. Now this is the thing. But if you see it in the worker terminal, so how it looked, that is starting from this line, it received a yes, we have to execute this salary task. Okay. Next thing, it started executing, and there was a print statement that said hello from salary task. After that, on the next line, it says that it finished running the task successfully, and here's the return statement. Okay. But that statement should have been added. That didn't work. No worries to that. That is fine. I'll try it again. Still, this thing is null. Okay. Now, what is happening? So there is a delay in between the API call. Like whenever the API call is getting like, completed and the task is getting completed, there is a time gap. Okay. So the task is somehow taking a bit more. But if you see, it's like minimum. It was called in 10 seconds. It printed in within 10 seconds and it completed within 10 seconds. But still there was a delay. Now, how do like how to make that possible? Because there is a slight delay. So in that case, what can I do? I can like add a wait. While task one dot not ready, I will keep it in a loop. Okay, it will be in a while loop, and if it was successfully completed, in that case, it would return the statement. Okay. Now let's see. My backend, I need to restart it, and I haven't done any change to the salary part. Okay, but this would work. To refresh it, you can see now the result is giving me back. So what is happening? Whenever the API call is being made, in that case, the API is waiting for the salary to get like salary task to get completed. Then only it is coming to this line 11. So now it is done. I can show you one more thing. That is within this task, let's print after the printing is done. I'm just importing from time. I'm just importing sleep and sleeping for 5 minutes. Okay. So what am I saying? Whenever the task call is being done, it would print the statement, then it would go ahead and sleep for 5 seconds. Don't do anything. Okay. After 5 seconds, it would just complete. Now there is one more thing. I have edited the task. Now that task is not being registered. The newer task is not registered with salary worker. You can see it. Like if I refresh it, you can see it's getting completed instantaneously. But it shouldn't have been. It should have slept for 5 seconds. That is because the newer task was not registered with salary worker. So for that, what I have to do, I have to restart the salary worker. Okay. Now it is done. And if I refresh it again, you will see that is it's waiting. It's waiting for 10 seconds. Now it's done. You can check it from here too. That whenever the call was made, it was 2403. The print statement was within 2403, but it got completed after 5 seconds. That is 2408. Okay. So that is how like it's a good choice to add this waiting or stuff. Again, I would say good choice, but it depends how we were like calling and however you were doing your however or wherever you need it. Next thing is let's define one more task that takes parameters. Okay. Again, this was covered in your lecture. I'm just doing the same thing. Hmm, same routes. Let me add that. Okay. We define a different class. Oh, so this is how we are doing. We are not getting a JSON object, but we will be getting it from the path parameters. Okay. Next thing, for one that the delay page and whatever that we are doing previously, the same thing. Okay. Now just go back to app.py. In here, I reset the backend server. Uh, okay, something happened. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I, I have added those in the class. Let me change it to it. Now it's done. Now let's try. So you're saying salary 1 plus, let's see, uh, salary and plus 1 plus 2. It says salary task failed. That's sad. Let's see what happened. Okay. Did we restart it? No, we didn't restart it. So that's why it got failed. Okay. I tried to find a task, but it couldn't because whenever the last time I restarted the salary worker, it didn't add that. So it got failed. So I would restart it. And now you can check that yes, add wala task is there. And if I refresh it, you can see now it's full. Result is 3 and whatever that we have had. Next thing would be here we'll be facing an error in the next task. For example, in this task, what am I planning to do is query DB. Okay. Now I am to specifically query a DB. That is, for example, variable A is there. And from model category, I want to get the data that is category dot query dot filter by ID equals to A. And I'm taking the first row. If not data, then I'm returning something. And if there is data, I'm returning that serialize or the function. Okay. That is, it will be returning me and JSON objects, right? Now let's see how can I do it. So you just go ahead and do the same thing in routes. Everything is there. Now let's try. I have to add it. And basically, I have to restart the worker to register the tasks that I was saying for multiple times. That is very DB, right? Now, if we instead of and if you write query and slash one, it refused because of the backend terminal. Just fine. Okay. It said that it failed. Now let's see. If you remember, we had restarted, so we can say that yes, the task was registered, but there is a different error. Right? So it is saying that it is the error that we are getting is app context error. If you remember this app context, you have seen that whenever we are calling that method, that is db.createAll, the same error is coming over here. So what is happening? Thing that we are seeing over here is that whenever we like till this two tasks, those are the simple tasks like Python functions, simple Python functions, nothing else. Right? So those are fine. But whenever we are going for the third task, what is happening? That it is trying to query the database, and database is a part of my Flash server. Okay. Now, what is happening? Whenever the task call is being made, it is considered that it is not, it is working outside of my Flash server. So how can I fix that? The fix is very simple. I would just post that app.app context and it is done. Okay. So how can I do it? Within utils, I will create one more file, name it as salary context.py. In here, from app, I would import create app from salary. I would import task, and that will be it. So app create app. Next thing, I have define a class, name it as context task, and I am using the task that I got on line 2 as a parent class. Next thing, what is happening? So whenever the salary task is being called, in that time, I would add this, like add the app.app context. Okay, push the app context so that it is being considered within the part of my class server only. How can I do it? Is in this way. So whenever a call is being made, I would add a break and I would add this app.app context and I would continue the okay, or continue the task call. Now this in place, what I would do, I would just go to salary task and from utils the salary context, I would import that and finally I would write this. The salary app.task is basically we are using that context task. Okay. Now what I will do is just I do have to restart the worker so that the change is being considered. Now I will just add that query first, and you can see that it is eventually working. This is the JSON object that we are returning, right? And there is no errors as of now. Right? Sure. So that is it. And the last thing would be that mail column part. Okay, let's add a mail. Now I'll be sending mails to everyone, the user that I have in my database. So from mailer, I will be importing the mail method, and after that, from DB from models, to the import user data. I'm getting all the users. Now I've defined a message variable that is message equals to from flask mail system switch, and I'm defining the subject over here. It's that will test mail, right? So this message body is this one, and recipient is working in this format. That is for user and users. Add recipient, and I'm sending the mail. Okay, mail.send. Let's give it a try. I'll restart the worker. and it got the send mail wala task. Right? Just go ahead and write salary email. Hit enter. You can see email sent to all users. And I can check that from mail hog. This were the new emails that I got, and I have. Okay, I made a blunder. Oh. I added add receipt to the CP. Let me restart the worker, and if I delete all the mails and give it a try again, task failed, not recipient. What was the attribute? Let's see. Fast mail. Recipients. This is the format. So whenever there is a change in the task, you have to restart the work. Now it is working fine, and you can see the mails were out. Give it a try, and finally, what I would do is, for example, if I want to I want to schedule this task, and that would be the last thing for salary. How can I do it? Is I will just go back to salary worker, and after this line, I write salary app dot conf dot beat schedule. Okay, beat schedule, and that is in a dictionary format. We have to define a key. For example, print hello every 10 seconds. The key could be anything. That's not an issue. But within this key, there is another Python dictionary object that is, I have to define the task and the schedule. Okay. There is no arguments to it. So, schedule. So, what is happening? This is in seconds. Okay. So, every 10 seconds, it will trigger this method, this uh, task. Yeah, that is print hello. How can I do it? Is I'd open up another terminal and the command that I was using for worker, I would just copy it, this one. And the same command or the similar command would be used. Let it run. In here, I can see that I need to cd into day5 backend. I print like use the command, but the difference is that in place of worker, I just need to write p and run this. And wait for 10 seconds. And you'll see that the task was triggered. See, 34. And you can check that out in the terminal that yes, it's being executed. And there was a 5 second sleep, right? So that's why it took some time. 44. Again, there is a sleep. It would end in 49. Then again, it's 54. And there's a task. So this is how we can schedule a task. We can even do it as an DB query. For example, I'm just querying, right? So query DB36. Okay. Address specific time date. Okay. How can I do it? This task. Next thing, I would be using cron tab. Okay, so from celery library, I would import cron tab, and that would help me schedule a task at a specific time. And I'm passing the argument. That is like I'm querying the database, like I'm querying the category table with ID 1. At what time? The current time is again, if you remember from the configuration, I had set the time zone to be ACI control so that I can use the IST time zone for Indian time. I just go to, or else it is set to UTC time zone. Please be aware for that. And just go back to worker, and you can see that I'm passing the argument that is ID to be 1 and the time to be 10 hours 43 minutes. Restart the beat schedule, and let's just, oh, it's not celery, but celery dot schedules. Still have some time. You just restart the beat schedule, and you can see the 10 seconds wala thing. It came because of the previous run, and the specific time came at 10:43. And see the hello wala thing so is running within every 10 seconds, but this would run like that. This part will run daily at that this specific time. Runs daily at 10:43 a.m. And it is querying like the argument that is passed is ID1 for category, and it is being called. You can check that out in the worker terminal that this is category ID1. Okay. Name is flow. This is how we can do it for daily reminder. So this is daily reminder. How can I do a monthly reminder? For example, send email every send email monthly. Which task? Task is send email. And in here, day of month, you have to define hour. Let me define it to be 10:45. And I have to restart the big schedule. And let's wait for 45. Now it would run. Okay. Oh, my bad. It won't run because the day is set as first, right? It should be 17. My bad. Let's go for 46. Start the week schedule, but let's wait so that the terminal is a bit empty. See, whenever a task is scheduled instantaneously, you consider that it is coming from the previous task. And you can see that monthly wala thing is also being called. You can have day of month, day of week, month of year, hour, minute, and those kind of things. So with this, I say we have covered everything, and this ends our bootcamp for man 2. Mail call. So closing everything down. Oh,
Thank you. Um,
thanks.
one question, Anchit. On the reporting side, the plots, is it possible for you to cover that quickly or guide us where we can learn more on that?
Reporting as in.
The plots, right? There has to be like the inside plots in matplotlib.
Oh, that plots. Oh, acha, acha. Okay. See, that won't be like I cannot cover that within a small time because it's a huge part. So what you can do, like there are some courses, no? There is, I guess, TDS also. No, not TDS. Yeah, TDS or some. There was a course which was covering that math topic. Even in
No,
MLP two.
you can generate the plots. It's like how to put them on the front end.
Okay, so the plots are in image files, right? So what you can do,
Correct.
you can like either you can supply it as a binary file. So whenever, like for example, you have an API over here, right? And within that API, what you are doing, we are just querying the database and stuff, and we are populating, like we are creating the image file, right? In that case, you do not, you can have like there are two ways to supply the
HTML
binary file.
embedded. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
no.
we got it.
To supply it from the backend side, either you can
Mm-hmm.
supply it as a binary data, or else you can save the data and send the URL. Okay, and from there you can get it. If you are sending the binary data, in that case, you can use that HTML I file or something. No, there was a tag, HTML tag, that was ISO. There was, I forgot the tag name, but it was something with I
Oh,
starting with
I
I.
find out. Okay, I okay understood the concept that
Yeah.
generate an image file, store it somewhere, and
Hmm.
then read
Either
put it
store
in
it
a
or
like
send it as a
embedded.
binary file. Whenever so,
Got it.
like
Yeah.
it can be done without storing it, without saving
Yes.
it.
Okay. Understood. No, thank you. That
Or
makes
else there
sense.
is one more thing. Like if you are not going for matplotlib, no, there is charge.js. Okay. So what you
Yes,
can do, you
and
can like
Plotly as
supply
well.
the raw
Yeah.
data. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
Plotly also. Yeah, supply the raw data, and from there you can like create it. Plotly is much better, even better than I guess charge.js.
Yeah. Understood. Understood. No, no, no. I thought. Yeah. Understood
Hmm.
now. It's better.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks for attending.
Uh, yeah. Hopefully the project goes well. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Whenever you face any problem or whenever you need me, just use the G space. We'll be there for this term. So yeah, we'll
Great.
try to help.
Thanks.
We'll give my best to help you guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll hopefully be in touch over the chat or see you later then. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day. Bye.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Will there be any like further doubt, or like if I want to have some doubt that I can, if it's like I
See, there
want
won't be
to
a
start.
no, no, no. We won't be having any more bootcamp session. Bootcamp session, as in like how we schedule a session and we call everybody in. It there won't be any more. But what you can do, you can like ask it in the G space, or else you can like have a like you can text me in Google Chat, like DM me, and we can
Okay,
like have a quick meet and we can like,
okay,
help
okay,
you.
okay, understood. Thank you.